back to my channel today, and we are doing a brand new Sims 4 speed build today. And so today is definitely one of those days where I get to sit down, chit chat, but also get to renovate one of your guys' houses in the Sims 4 and make it slightly overpriced, because the last time I did a budget build of 20k, I literally lost my mind and had a major freak out afterwards. But however, this time around, I am giving a good renovation of my good friend Dabney, who is Dabs9966 on the gallery, and she was like, hey, renovate one of my houses. And I'm like, okay, sure, why not? And so I'm doing this in a video for my new building series called Spring It Up, where basically I renovate one of your guys' houses in The Sims, give it a backstory, but also kind of give my own personal creative spin to it and see what you guys think. And so if you guys want me to renovate one of your guys' houses, go ahead and upload your builds under the hashtag SpringItUp so I can see your builds, download them, renovate them, and give it a backstory and kind of give it my own personal spin, okay? Okay. But either way, I am so excited for this building series because I had a building series prior to this called Design and Decorate, and that was so much fun. But this time around, I wanted to do something that gets you guys involved and gets you inspired to build again. And so that is what I'm doing today. And this house is actually only base game and is a 2-story, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. And I had in mind of a single parent actually living here, more so of a musical single parent artist. And the original build was a starter home, only 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and it's called Music Lover Starter. And I kind of wanted to keep that storyline, that, you know, feel of the real intact and keep it the way it was. And so I did that. And so for the first bedroom, I had in mind of maybe a single father, a single mother, I'm not really sure just yet, of living here with their toddler child, basically. And the toddler actually sleeps upstairs because originally I was going to put the toddler bed all in the same room, but it felt so cramped and I felt like that your Sims could not get inside the room properly. And I wanted to give the parent some space, like, you know, a desk, their guitar, you know, the necessities that they needed to live and function as a human being. And so the toddler is upstairs, and so is like the main, you know, hallway or extra hallway, and I realized there's no living room. I had the intention. Oh, wait, no. Oh, that's right. So I had the intention of having the living room upstairs on the 2nd floor, but I decided to add a basement to this as an addition because Dabney suggested to add a basement, and a lot of you guys did say in the live stream, because I did live stream this entire build over on Twitch, and you guys gave me some good suggestions on what I should add, what I should remove, and how I could like make this house functional, of course, because half the time when I build, I don't know what I'm doing. It takes me like 3 hours to build, and I'm just thinking, here we go, that's what we did, and you're welcome. And so the living room is actually downstairs. There originally was going to be a guest bedroom and a bathroom, but there was a problem with the terrain on the outside that just didn't work. So there was no guest bedroom, and there's only a living room downstairs and another bathroom. So 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, but the living room and the other bathroom is down in the basement. It's a very cramped, small, tiny home, I would say, and it's on a 20 by 15 lot in Willow Creek, all base game. So if you guys want to download this build and also the original build, both gallery names will be in the description, but also at the top of the comments, which is just SpringSims, but also Dabs9966 on the gallery. So I don't know, but I just cannot wait for the next Spring It Up video, because I kind of want to do this weekly where I renovate your guys' houses and just have fun with it. And so this is like actually the first of many that I've recorded so far. So, you know, more videos for me, which is kind of great for myself and maybe for you guys as well, because a couple of you guys have been asking me, where are the videos at? Where are the LPs? Where's the Creative Sims? Like, where was the old Steven? And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I've always been here. But trust me when I say LPs are coming, LPs are coming. I actually just wrapped up my Sims Pet Stories LP. So if you guys want to watch that, the link will be down below. But also, a university LP will be coming. I just have to get the few necessities over with before I can actually start recording it and getting it all edited and uploaded so you guys can watch it, because I'm working my darn hardest on this LP. Like, you have no idea. And so, trust me, it's coming. Okay. But anyway, I wanted to go back to the build, as I never usually do, but this time around, I'm going to talk about the build. And when I was first actually doing this portion of the build, I was doing it for the first time. And when I saw the build on the gallery, I was like, okay, what can I do for this build? How can I make it slightly better than it already is? And I realized, maybe if I add a second, story, but not a full second story, it could look good. But then I realized when it comes to like smaller homes on a smaller lot, it can be very, very difficult with the roofing, because I have a tendency of making a small box and making it bigger on a very smaller lot. I don't know why I do that, but it just seems fun to do it for the challenge and see how well it goes. And so I wanted to have like a chimney on the side, and I also wanted to have like, another indent or another box out thing on the back side and the front and on the other side. Like, it was just not working, so I had to move everything down, fix it all, and it was okay. It looked good in the end. Trust me. The screenshots did it justice. Landscaping, not that bad. And honestly, landscaping is one of those things that I have sometimes trouble with, because I always use the exact same foliage for everything. And I was going to use a lot of debug items for this build to make it more personalized, but I didn't have enough time to really go all out the way I wanted it. And I wanted to keep this house very simple and very clean and not too cluttered, to the point where your Sims can't really get to anything. And so your Sims will be able to get upstairs, downstairs, wherever they need to go in the house. But if you do want to add like a second, I don't know, room in the basement, just make sure that you don't have, landscaping in the back so it doesn't mess up with the terrain. But all I gotta say, it was a struggle, but it was worth it. So if you guys have any suggestions for any builds I should do, any particular style, let me know in the comments below. But also tell me how I did this, like how well did I do this build justice, because normally I don't really renovate other people's houses in The Sims, and I want to continue, start doing it more often, because one, it's fun. Two, you guys get seen by me, but also I get to renovate your houses and make it better in my style. Does that make sense? I don't know. It probably doesn't. It's okay. Anyway, for the story that I had in mind, like I said in the beginning of the video, a single parent music lover who has a toddler child living in this house, and they're not really struggling artists or anything at all. They're more so of a recent college graduate from the University of Britechester, actually, because the University of Britechester, they have a very well distinct program of art history and I think also music, I believe. So they went into that track of the degree program to focus on that. And once they graduated, they actually were going through some hard times going through university, because at the time they just graduated high school, their third term. They met some people got hurt, and it was like this whole big thing, and there was like this big party at this one campus, Foxbury. Crazy campus, too much partying, too many robots. And when they were actually going to Foxbury Institute, they were going for this party at this secret society, and we're gonna give the sim name Jeff and the other sim name Chelsea. Well, Chelsea and Jeff. They met at Chelsea went to Foxbury and Jeff went to Britechester. And again, like I said, they're both rival universities, of course, but Jeff and Chelsea went to the same high school together, and they kind of knew each other before, and they knew where they wanted to go and what degrees they wanted to go into, and knew what they had to do to get into them correctly and get the best scholarships. So when they realized that they were going to different universities, they wanted to stay in contact and also, be the best of friends no matter what people said. And so when Chelsea invited Jeff over to Foxbury for a party, and he didn't know it was part of a secret society at the time because Chelsea was in the secret society, she was kind of more so recruiting him over to the Foxbury side so they can be closer to each other, which Jeff didn't technically want to do because his parents weren't really keen about the idea of him dating a Foxbury girl. So when they found out that he was dating a Foxbury girl, they kind of forbid him to not really see her. So he kind of kept it on the DL for the majority of the time during his third and last term. And so, like I said, when Chelsea invited Jeff over to the party, they kind of got together a little bit, and one thing led to another. And the juice keg thing was a little bit malfunctioning, and Chelsea was a robotics student, so she had her robot with her, and the robot was named Karen. So Karen kind of malfunctioned and kind of attacked Chelsea, which is not an ideal thing to think about when it comes to robots and Sims and humans and robots taking over the world. It was just not a cool thing. And so Karen was basically broken. She malfunctioned and kind of had a glitch. And it was to the point where so many bad things were happening that it caused a fire, and everyone basically ran out, and Karen was still malfunctioning, and it was not in a good situation for Chelsea to run out and leave. And Jeff already, like, he straight up dipped out, but it was like she had to figure something out. Like, Chelsea had to figure something out to, stop Karen. So she basically just unplugged her and destroyed her, and she left. And so the next day after that, the Chelsea found out that she was pregnant, and she was like trying to figure out, how in the world am I pregnant when I didn't really hook up with anybody? And she realized literally the next day, like, she just realized literally, like, the day she's like thinking, am I pregnant? I don't know. And then the next day after that, she was like, oh wait, shoot, I am actually pregnant. So she realized, wait a minute, I hooked up with Jeff. And so that's how it happened. She didn't technically tell Jeff on what really happened, but after they kind of graduated, she told Jeff what happened, and she handed over the baby to him because during that time, Chelsea was she was sick, and she couldn't really handle, the whole pregnancy and everything. She kind of didn't die from childbirth, but she was dying from something, from like an unknown illness for some reason, which is kind of sad to think about. And so she couldn't really carry on with seeing her kid. And I mean, after the first 2 years, she saw her kid grow up a little bit and kind of, talked a little bit, walked a little bit, but not too much. And then she later on, like, passed away. And so Jeff held a ceremony in her honor at Foxbury because that's where she went to school. But also all her friends were there as well and wanted to kind of celebrate the memory of her instead of having a sad, depressing funeral. And so when he decided to hold the funeral at Foxbury, he dedicated this song to her and saying, "My love for Chelsea, I'll never forget you." And when he did that, he wanted to keep the memory of Chelsea intact. And so he decided to do a nice little, not ceremony, but more so of a contribution to Foxbury by donating about $1,000 every season in the game to Foxbury Institute in Chelsea's honor. And there's actually a plaque at Foxbury Institute in her name. And she was really well known. She was on the dean's list every single term, got straight A's until her last term. And she graduated with honors, and so did Jeff as well at Brightchester. And so they were very well known in the whole aspect of, college, and which is nice to think about. And so he wanted to name his daughter after her. And he didn't want to necessarily make her first name Chelsea. Her middle name is actually Emma Chelsea Stewart. And so that is technically what their name is. The last name is Stewart. And so I really like the whole Emma Chelsea Stewart name. And it's nice to have a memory of someone that you really cared about within your name. And I mean, right now, Emma doesn't really know the whole thing, like who her mother really was, because at the time she was very, very young, and she didn't know much about her, only by the stories that she has heard of from her father, and the photos and the videos. And so it's the photographic video memory of her is the only thing that she technically remembers. And that, I guess that's okay, but I mean, one day when Jeff is like technically ready for Emma to see her mother at her grave and like see what kind of person she was back then before she passed away. And so when he does that, I mean, he probably won't do it until like she's good and ready around like 6, maybe 10 years old. But only time will tell. And so as of right now, Jeff is currently at level 8 of his career in the musical, yeah, the music not the music aspiration, the musical career, the one that came with the base game. And so he's like really grinding his gears and like really doing his best to succeed in his career and meet people, but also be a good role model to his daughter. And it's been about, I would say more so, because they graduated a couple years ago, and so it was back in 2013, and that was about 6 years ago from now. And as of right now, so Emma is 8 years old. Jeff is around, he's like 28, I would say, 28, 26, 26 or 28 years old, in that mid-range of the 20s. He's almost 30. So like in that time, he spent his time moving house, getting a new job, figuring out what he wanted to do. And when he settled on a place in Willow Creek, it was far away from home, of course. He's originally from Oasis Springs, and Chelsea is originally from, again, Oasis Springs. And so when he decided to move away from his hometown, away from Bridechester, away from like everything that he knew and loved, he wanted a fresh new start. And so when he stumbled across his house, that was a little bit, I wouldn't say downplayed, but more kind of, it needed a touch up. And so when he found the place, he asked the real estate agent to see what he could really do to like spruce it up a little bit. Was he allowed to do things on his own? Because he's currently renting the house by the previous owner, and the previous owner is actually George Cahill. Not kidding. George Cahill from Strangerville. This was actually previously his old home from his previous marriage, and his previous wife was a music lover, hence why it's called Music Lover Starter previously. So George Cahill's wife, who is now passed away, loved music so much. They lived here for many years until she passed away, and then he left Willow Creek, but still the house was in his name. But when Jeff came somebody along on the house, he called George, asked him if he could, rent the place or lease it or whatever. George was like, whatever, I don't really care. I don't like being here anymore. So he was like, sure, whatever. And so when he did that, Jeff was like, I'm going to make it my own, a new fresh start, give it a, paint of color, some new furniture, some new appliances, the whole 9 yards to make it more of my own and more of my personality. And that's what he did. And I kind of like the fact that it was still technically in the music lover family in a way, because Jeff, he loves music, and George Cahill's old wife loves music as well. So it kind of makes sense to keep it in the family. That's kind of like my spiel. So as of right now, Emma is in elementary school. She made some friends. She met a couple of new people during her science project, during a sleepover. And her teacher was like, Emma's doing a really good job. She has a B in school, doing really well, not being, disruptive or anything, but she's like, struggling, but she's getting there, and that's okay. And I'm really proud about that. And I'm really happy that Jeff is really stepping up on his game of parenting. And he has level 4 in the parenting skill. Like, he's not a newbie, but he's learning. And that's kind of good. Like, he's getting help from the PTA and the parenting forums online. It's like, people are helping him along the way. And they knew Chelsea from way back then. And so they kind of know what he's going through, but still helping him and telling him, you need to grow up. Your daughter's almost like a double digits of 10 years old. She needs to learn about these new things. And when she gets a little bit older, I don't think Jeff is really technically ready for the birds and the bees talk or womanhood. Like, he's kind of nervous about that, and so am I, because when it comes to that time, what is Jeff going to do? Like, we literally do not know. Okay, so like, we're kind of figuring stuff out as of right now. And I get that I said Emma is 8 years old. In my mind, I think that she's, still going through some stuff, and she's not technically a toddler, but she has a smaller bed. So even though I'm using a toddler bed and I said a toddler child, I meant as Emma's 8 years old, but she still has her small bed because she's very short for an 8-year-old, and she's not really ready for a big girl bed, if that makes any sense. And so I kind of kept the things that made her younger than she already is. And plus, Jeff was like, no, maybe I'll have another kid, maybe I'll adopt, I don't know. And he wanted to keep the bed, and also the potty chair, and also like the toddler toys, because even though he's not ready to date or get married again, he still keeps the stuff because he does babysit on the side and helps his neighbors helps his neighbor, not Eliza, not everybody else, but somebody else, his old classmate from Brychester. They have a toddler who is kind of going through some potty issues and talking and walking issues. Even though that's up to the parents' job, he is more than happy to help. And that's okay. And so that's why he kind of has these things in his house to help his friend's child development issues or growth. In a way, I don't know. That's what he's doing. He's a very giving and generous person, donates to Foxberry. He has, parenting skills, helps his daughter in elementary school, helps his friends, classmates, his friends' child. Yeah, that's the word. Friend's child, who is a toddler. Even though Emma's not a toddler in this one, we're just going to say she is a toddler. Even though she's short for an 8-year-old. Okay? Yeah. That's my spiel. I changed up my entire story because I'm thinking, okay, how can I make this sense? How can I make this work? Because, ages ago, yeah, words. Like, that's the thing. What can I say that it can make this house make sense and the story make sense with all the toddler toys, even though Emma doesn't have a bed that's fit for a child, but she's small as a toddler, but not too small. She's like one of those like small 8-year-olds, but a very tall toddler, if that makes any sense, because somehow some of these days, these kids in 2019 are as tall as me, and they're only in like 4th grade. And I'm thinking, it's like my thing is, what are they feeding you? What's happening? If I stop growing? I probably have, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe I'll be 5'7" for the rest of my life. But as we move on to the basement of this house, like I said originally at the beginning of the video, there was gonna be a guest bedroom, and also an office, I believe, but more so of a guest bedroom. Didn't work, so I took it all out, and I just left the bathroom, but in a different location, because the landscaping of this house was very, very like close niche, and the house itself was already very small, and it's on a 20 by 15 lot in Willow Creek. So the lot itself and the house itself was very small. So I had to like really figure out where I was gonna place everything. And I cut a bunch of stuff out in this build because I was doing so much, and I didn't want to make it too confusing for you all. So I just took out stuff that wasn't necessary, like me trying to fix the landscaping and the terrain. Too much work. And that's okay. But anywho, I feel like I've talked a lot today in this video, but also talked a lot in general for today, and I'm not really sure when I'm uploading this video because I'm pre-recording a bunch of videos as of right now because I do have final exams in 2 weeks, so I have to prep a bunch of videos for that and get that stuff done so I don't have a major freak out and forget, other things for my exams, even though I only technically have one I have one online exam and then one in-person exam, but that's technically just a project that I have to turn in and present. But that's pretty much it. It's pretty much easy for me as of right now because I graduate in May, and when May comes around, let's be real, I'm gonna have so much free time to myself to like upload videos, stream, all the things to make me happy. School, I mean, it's one of them, but I'm ready to be done with school. I've been in college for 6 years. I'm I'm ready to be done. I don't got time to go to school no more. But other than that though, I hope you guys actually really enjoyed the speed build, the storyline, me rambling your ear off today, but that's life, that's my video, that's my channel. A rambly speed build video for your ears to listen. You're welcome. But if you guys want to upload your build under the hashtag SpringItUp, please do that because I would love to see your builds and love to renovate them in a video. Of course, like always, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload a brand new video. And I will see you guys all in the very next video. Bye!
Did you ever stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready? Let me be honest, I don't know a single thing that I haven't done to make you notice me. Let me be real here. When I see you my heart starts racing, but I don't know if I like this chasing and playing and waiting around. It's a shame that my hands start shaking all of the time when you're around me. But this time, girl, I know what's bothering me. I need somebody to love. Oh, nah, 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 nah. Don't you see what's wrong with me? I need somebody to love. Oh, oh, nah, nah. I don't know what I could say to convince you to hang around when you don't have to. There's so much that I'm still keeping to myself, cause you don't listen, babe. But still you got me missing you. When I see you my heart starts racing, but I don't know if I like this chasing and playing and waiting around. It's a shame that my hands start shaking